And I am reporting live on location from some undisclosed place. It's really freaking cold outside, but I thought I would go for, that effect. Weathermen like to report, on location in some crazy-ass blizzard, hurricane, whatever. I want to be like them. Not.
Right.
Anyways. Freaking cold, yeah. Alright. So hey people, thanks for checking in. This is the third episode of the SnMWIN Weekly Sports. We have a lot to get to today, so let's get to it. Of course, to my right is the one and only McBiggy, still in the dark, still refusing to come out of his closet. Anything to say in your defense?
No, it's just nice and cozy in here.
Well, at least you're nice and cozy. I'm freaking freezing, kinda, somewhat. Anyways, first game we'd like to talk about is the Saints losing a close game to the Niners in San Fran. Fairly slow game until the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden the two teams decided they wanted to entertain the fans with some actual scoring. 4 lead changes and 3 TDs in about 2.5 minutes near the end of the fourth. Saints defense blew a huge opportunity to march to the conference game, and the final score was 36-32, sending the Niners to the conference championship game under first-year head coach Jim Harbaugh. Of course, we both picked the Saints to win by 7. And as we warned you last week, don't follow our advice on these picks. As a matter of fact, it might be best to go in the opposite direction on about half of our picks. Well, at least my picks anyways. McBiggy over here is taking it in the jaw kind of hardcore throughout these playoffs. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, as far as my picks goes, I would go complete opposite of anything I say, because it's just not going my way.
Yeah. So, what did you think about that game?
It was very entertaining in the fourth quarter. A very lack of defense by the Saints wasn't that big of a shock. And more surprisingly so was the overall offense of the 49ers. They were fairly impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, Alex Smith was fairly accurate, and as far as the Saints defense goes, I think the only guy that came to play for the Saints D was Roman Harper. He was getting after Alex Smith all day, but one guy versus whatever, can't do it. So alright, so next game was the Jesus Bowl, where Jesus apparently had more pressing issues tending to an Italian cruise ship disaster. Tebow 9 for 26 passing for 136 yards, 28 of those going for penalty. Tom Terrific was, well, Tom Terrific. 26 of 34 for 363 yards, and count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. 5 of those in the first half, and a pick that no one cares about. Too many Patriot records were set in this one to mention. I came close to the 50 I predicted for the Pats, as the final score was 45-10. Nothing really to see here, folks. Move along. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Definitely off day for Tim Tebow. He's known to have them. None of us really expected this to be very close, but a little bit disappointed with the Denver defense in this one. They showed better throughout the season, and this one was one of those where you just kind of scratch your head and wonder which team was out there.
Yeah, the Patriots definitely came to play, so they're... it's a good chance that they're pretty heading, so who knows. The other AFC Divisional game, we saw business as usual from the Ravens D, as they handled the Texans, winning by a score of 20-13. Going to be interesting to see if safety Ed Reed will play next week. I understand you have an update on that.
Yeah, his x-rays were actually negative, so he's likely going to play, but slightly questionable.
Yeah, because he was limping off the field after the game on the last play. So, Ravens win. Will pit them against the mighty Patriots for the chance to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2000, when they won it all under the QB who shall remain nameless. Who you got in that game, Biggie?
Well, the Patriots are favored by 7.5 in that game. It's very close. If you go by, historical odds, odds say Baltimore not only will win this game, but they'll win the Super Bowl. And you may wonder why. Well, that's because no team with a defense or offense that was ranked worse than 25th has ever won a Super Bowl in the history of NFL.
So that only leaves the Ravens as the only likely winner, according to that historical stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, for one, have the Patriots winning, and I think they should be able to cover that spread.
Yeah, I concur on that. So, both of us, agreeing on that means probably that the Ravens are going to win, or at least cover the spread. So, yeah, don't put any money on the game.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it would be really awesome to see, the Ravens in it again. I mean, once again, they got kind of a questionable quarterback, but whatever. So, especially with the Niners, possibly going to the Super Bowl if they can get past, the Giants. So, the upset of the weekend, speaking of which, was the coming out of nowhere Giants handing the Packers their ass on a platter at Lambeau Field. I heard there was a slight spike in the suicide rate in Wisconsin immediately following the game.
Yeah.
I didn't really get an opportunity to watch the entire game, but it seemed like the Giants' D was getting to Rodgers all day long.
All day.
And Eli, with the end of second half, Hail Mary to Hakeem Nicks against that 26th ranked defense. Giants went off for 17 points in the fourth quarter to seal the deal, and a trip to San Francisco for the NFC Conference game. Who you got in that one, sir?
The Niners are favored by 2.5.
Interesting.
I mean, it's definitely a nice close one. Fairly good defenses at this point, at least in the season, going against each other. The Giants are very powerful on offense lately. The Niners showed very good improvement on offense last game against the Saints. So regardless, I do believe this will be close, but I actually have the Giants winning this game, not just covering.
Giants winning? Really?
Yeah.
In San Francisco?
They're on a roll. I mean, it's just like the repeat of the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling they're going to make it to the bowl this year again. So we'll see.
So that means that you're hoping kind of for a Giants-Patriots rematch, huh?
I'm hoping the Niners win, because I don't want the Giants in the Super Bowl, but I'm having a hard time picking against them.
You're picking them.
Yeah.
You are conflicted.
I want the Niners to win, but the Giants win.
I'm going to take Niners by 3. I think they cover the spread. I think it'll be a close game. So.
Yeah.
That wraps up the games that were played this past weekend and the games coming up. So we have a little bit of time, I do believe.
Yeah, we got a little bit.
I think we can talk about some teams that were just knocked out of the playoffs and some very important players that have, free agency coming up. The big name on the radar, of course, is Drew Brees. Drew Brees! I think he's going to end up with a monster contract.
Huge.
Humongous. Especially after, 5,300 some odd yards in a regular season. And, I think they would definitely hand him the keys to the stadium, the keys to the city on this one. So, another name coming out of the Saints is Marcus Colston. He's going to be a free agent. Do they resign him? Do they let him walk? If they do resign him, how much?
That's a tough one. I think he either asks for too much and doesn't get re-signed, or he takes one of those flyers where you're wanting to stay at home and just kind of go under the radar a little bit with what you take.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of silly to ask for too much because there's a few good receivers on that team, and they're fairly well balanced now. The running game, passing game. Although it didn't seem that way. With 5,300 yards, but another team that got knocked out, the Texans. Big name on the radar there is Arian Foster. He's up for a contract. I think he's going to get a decent contract. I don't think he's, going to get anything monster. He might get paid top 5 money.
Around there. I mean, around the edge of the top 5, I'd say.
Before the last season, he kind of established himself as, like the lead, running back on that team, but. They're still kind of trying to find their identity between the running game and the passing game. I mean, they were, primarily a pass-happy team, Matt Schaub to Andre Johnson all day long, and, some Kevin Walter and Jacoby Jones. I can't remember who the third receiver is. I know. I should research this stuff. I think he gets a decent contract, probably for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'd say about 5 years.
Yeah, I can't see him making Chris Johnson money or anything like that, but he'll get paid. So
I think he earns it more than Chris Johnson.
Yeah, probably. Oh well, yeah. According to last season, yeah. Real quickly, do we got any Packers going into free agency?
No one important.
What about Ryan Grant?
No one important.
That's funny. They could go a few different directions with that. Ryan Grant just constantly nicked up and whatever. So.
Oh wait, they do actually have Jordy Nelson and Jermichael Finley going into free agency.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to pay those guys before they pay Ryan Grant.
Oh
so.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another team got knocked out. Steelers. They got Mike Wallace, monster contract. $1,300 all-purpose yards. Yeah, he's gonna get paid.
Yeah. Troy Polamalu. Lawrence Timmons. Big guys. They got to keep those guys.
Yeah. It's pretty much a given. It's a matter of how they distribute the money there. So. Any other names, real quickly?
Mario Williams. He's going to be free agent.
That's going to be a real big question mark too, because he got hurt and so forth. So there's no real final year stats to base on, but he'll be big. If they don't re-sign him, it'll be crazy. So. Hey, that's it. That's all the time we have for today. We will see you all next week and get you the report next week.
All right.
Talk to you later, all. Peace.
Love y'all.